Hey everyone, I'm Josh.
I'm T.
And we're the kids.
And this weekend we're headed out to Yerranderie Private Town. Yerranderie is an old silver mining town that is located at the back of what is now Warragamba Dam. It used to be accessible from Sydney, but it hasn't been accessible from Sydney for a number of years. The only way in is via the Oberon-Colong historic stock route, which joins up with Shooters Hill Road out the back of Oberon. There is another way in from Goulburn area. We've just hit the dirt and we're on our way in now. So far the road's pretty good actually. It looks like they've come through here with a grader quite recently. Headed out there for the weekend to meet up with the local four-wheel drive club, and should be a good weekend. Looking forward to seeing what we see when we get there. I lost one of the taps. We pulled up at the Mount Werong campground just to air down. The road had started to get a bit rough. There were some pretty big potholes, and it just makes the trip in a little bit more comfortable. While we were there, we had a chance to check out the old buildings and the encampment here from the old mine that was in the area. And it really is cool how some of these buildings are built and the murals and how they've been restored. It's well worth stopping over and spending 10 or 15 minutes at a minimum checking this place out. We wouldn't mind staying over here one night. One thing to note is that both Mount Werong and Yerranderie don't allow dogs. Now, we didn't have the dogs with us on this trip, but something to keep in mind. There's lots of little nooks and crannies right throughout the buildings, including old shower blocks, kitchens. It looks like there is even an old spa room there, but we didn't get terribly good footage from that. Once we'd had a look around, it was time to get back on the road.
So we're there down. We are now jumping back in Rubi for the next half of the trip.
From the Mount Werong campground, it's about 60 kilometres into Yerranderie, but it is about the longest 60 kilometres that you will ever drive. It took us between an hour and a half and 2 hours to do this with our van on the back, and yes, we did tow our AVan with street-going suspension into the campground at Yerranderie. The road is not too bad, but there are a few sort of little water crossings and things, the creeks. As you start to get through the bigger water crossings, you end up getting closer. But the road just seems to go on and on and on and on. It will be the longest 60 kilometres you've ever driven. As you can see here, the van did bounce around a little bit. We did air the tyres down on the van to about 28 psi, which is not a huge reduction, but when we got to Yerranderie, there was no damage anywhere at all. As you get closer, the river crossings become more frequent and they do get a little bit deeper. Eventually, you'll come across this next river crossing, which shows you that you're getting close to Yerranderie. It's about 10 minutes from this river crossing, and there's this beautiful old sign that they've got with an entrance to the Yerranderie Sanctuary. And once you're in here, you're not far away at all.
So we have made it here, and we're just checking to see if we've got all of our equipment still on the camper. Josh has checked all the legs. Yeah, she's a bit dusty. Just a little bit dusty. We'll have to air the tyres back up. But this is a bit of a view. Through there's the cliff faces. Well, I've got it going.
Oh, I'm just sending a message out. Yeah, well, we got here. Apparently not very many AVans come in, so we're one of a few. And we managed to get a standard, not off-road AVan in without any issues. So we'll get set up and, yeah,
That's a
relax.
Hang on.
So we've got these new pegs. They've got a glow-in-the-dark head on them, apparently. They came from Patriot Campers, and I got the ones from Patriot Campers because I could get a bag of 30. Most of them came in smaller quantities, and I wanted 30 as a minimum. So we'll see how they go. I'd say that's going to work quite well.
That's one way of doing it. He's your brother.
He's your son.
Once we were all set up, it was time to go for a little bit of an explore. There's a lot of old buildings around the town, but the first place we wanted to go check out was the Silver Peak Mine, which is a short walk from the camping area. The mine has a lot of very scenic views, and there's even a gangway where you can walk out over the mine. Don't forget to grab some scenic photos of the kids with the hills in the background. Once we got back to camp, it was time to set up a fire and prepare for the evening and just relax for the night. So the drive out last night took us about 3 or so hours. We got here and got everything set up, and then we just decided to take the evening to ourselves. So we're set up on the old tennis court, which is the most level area in the whole place. Apparently when there are heavy storms there is a bit of rain that pulls on the tennis court, but not an issue for us today. The showers and the toilets here are adequate. I mean, they're not fantastic, but they're pretty good. It's always good to be able to have a flushing toilet and a warm shower while you're away. So we're about to go start exploring the area for the day. The rest of the four-wheel drive club's due to come in a little bit later today, so we get a bit of a head start on checking out what's in the area.
Please don't forget to
like, subscribe, and share this video
click the bell
so you don't miss out on any other uploads.
We headed out from camp the next morning to go exploring. We went over and had a look at the old airport where there was quite a bit of wildlife hanging around. Certainly the kids like looking at the kangaroos. There were also what appeared to be dingoes, although we'll let you make your own judgment about that. We had a look at the old police station and courthouse, some beautiful old buildings that are still there, although they're not really used anymore. There are lots of small little buildings and shacks, and some beautifully restored, some not so beautifully restored, sitting in as-built condition, or pretty close to it. There's some old vehicles and a whole bunch of old mining machinery hanging around, and then it was time to settle down with the rest of the four-wheel drive club by the fire for the evening. So we've pulled up at Mount Werong campground. We're on the way out. We had to depart a little bit earlier than everybody else. We had a bit of a time frame to get home, so it's about 11 o'clock on this Sunday morning, and we're now on our way back home. We've just driven out, and yeah, the road's pretty rough in sections anyway. There's some pretty good potholes for the first sort of 10 or 15 k's between Mount Werong and Yerranderie, but beyond that the road's not too bad. I mean, if you take your time, go nice and slow. That said, if you want a clean car, well, actually Ruby's clean, front of the van not so much. So yeah, don't expect to come down here and have a clean vehicle. We did air down. You probably don't need to, but it made it a lot more comfortable, so we'll definitely be airing down on tracks like this. Again, personal choice. If you want to, do it. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So yeah, pretty happy with how the van's performed for this trip. This is the first time we've had it sort of proper off-road, or not off-road, but dirt roads anyway, and yeah, definitely can't complain. We're just leaving Mount Werong campground, and look who's driving. T decided to get behind the wheel for a little bit.
Here, bang, that's just me bashing the crap out of the camper.
It's nice and slow through the potholes, you'll be fine.
Mud. Yeah.
So T's been telling me for a little while that She wants to learn how to tow the camper, so there's not very many people out here, so we figured T gets an opportunity to jump in and clear left. Gets an opportunity to jump in and go for a little drive on the dirt. So yeah, we'll check in when we get back onto the bitumen and air up and give you our final thoughts on what we think of Yerranderie and our little trip this weekend. That's that. Yerranderie, we stayed at the Private Town. Really nice campground, plenty of room. There's only 10 sites available, and I'm sure you could put more than that in there if you really wanted to, but you can only book, you can only book up to 10 sites. The showers and toilets are adequate. I wouldn't call them stellar, but they get the job done. The showers are hot, the water pressure's good. There's plenty to explore while you're there. We barely scratched the surface of what was there. We did have a look through the government town and had a look up at the old cemetery. We didn't film at the cemetery out of respect for the people there and the families there. I just don't think that's the right thing to be doing. And T even had a go driving with the camper on the back on the dirt, which was good. So yeah, definitely one worth visiting. It is a long, narrow, windy dirt road going in, so just be aware of that. It's one drive. It's not difficult, but you do want to sort of take your time and not go too fast. There are limited opportunities for passing, in particular traffic coming the other way. Things can get pretty tight.
Potholes.
Yeah, lots of potholes.
Ladies, wear a decent bra. Otherwise you'll give yourself a concussion.
Well, you might.
Like I nearly did.
Well, you might.
Well, I am a little bit, top deck heavy, so I'll know that for next time.
What have you guys got to say about it? Do you have fun?
Yeah.
Yeah? You gonna come back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for everybody for watching. We're gonna head home now. This has been Josh.
And T.
And the kids.
With Ruby the Rubicon. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Hooroo.